And the Stuarts, as you recall, were the primarily Catholic family who ruled the three kingdoms: England, Scotland, and the free abortion state of Ireland.
Ah, yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, did I say that? Not that we're miffed. Even in the depths of the Bahamas, I followed the abortion thing. You know, let me just say this about that. I have a lot of Irish blood. I grew up singing Irish songs. I have a lot of friends over there. I love the country. I love St. Patrick. I love St. Patrick's Day. I love corned beef and cabbage, which is more Jewish than Irish, but that's a whole other story. But I can think of few things in my life that have disgusted me as much as the Irish referendum. You know, and you could say, well, the English brought in abortion in 1967 and the Americans in 72. Yeah, it's true they did, but you know what? If you had tried to have a referendum on abortion in Britain in 1967, it would have been defeated easily, and the same in the America of 1972. Obviously, the populations of both countries have been carefully massaged and worked and dealt with by their masters and owners. And so today, I have no doubt that such a referendum in both countries would pass easily. But to have this happen as an expression of the popular will in Ireland, what do you say to that? The same with their thing on gay marriage. I understand that this is a way of cocking a snook at the church. I get it. But please don't talk about the people who, the men of 1916, because this isn't what they died for. And don't attack the British Crown if you're Irish, because you've got nothing to say. The moral superiority that the Irish have always enjoyed assuming because of their years of abuse at the hands of the English, they've just abdicated. They've given up. You no longer have that now. What was the heart and soul of resistance to abortion in Ireland? Was it the Catholic Church? No. It was the Orange Order, who are the same people who are responsible for keeping abortion out of Northern Ireland. This is insane. A friend of mine, an Irish friend of mine, who oddly enough lives there, he said, well, you know, if the 33% of the Irish who voted against abortion moved to Northern Ireland, you'd at once make it Catholic and ensure that it stayed pro-life. But this is a miserable thing. And yet, you can trace it in a sense historically all the way back to the terrible overthrow of the House of Stuart in 1688, as with so many other evils. So when June 10th comes around on Sunday, or on Monday, if you want to have masses said for the repose of the souls of the Stuart kings, pray for the English, the Irish, the Scots and the Welsh, and for the Americans and all the other English speakers, that someday, somehow, we regain the faith that was taken from us so long ago, and that the recent apostasy of Ireland come to an early end, that the Irish pull their derrieres out of their heads and become Catholic again. Anyway.
Is that St. Patrick prophecy on its way? Was it a prophecy or a wish?
What, did they get their heads in their derrieres?
No, they'll sink into the ocean.
Oh, no, that was his prayer. That was his hope.
Oh, that was his hope.
That they would sink into the ocean 5 years before the Antichrist would come.
Ah.
He said, my poor Irish, they will never be able to resist his blandishments. And, of course, what they've shown is that, no, they wouldn't.
Yeah.
You know, and again, you look at our Irish Americans, like the man who brought in gay marriage here, Mr. Justice Anthony Kennedy, or what's to be said, ladies and gentlemen? It's not that there aren't wonderful exceptions to the rule, but sadly, in our time, the Irish have, the corruption of the best is the worst. And when the Irish were great, they were really great. And now that they're not just moderately scummy, they're horrible.
That's sad.
Same with the French Canadians. I actually think I'm being unpleasant.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
of course, because,
No,
after
that's
what
true.
you said, the best
Yeah.
is the worst, so.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, the Quiet Revolution reduced the French Canadians from being the greatest people in North America to being a nation of scumbags. I'm not afraid to say it. Why should I be?
Yeah.
I think part of the big problem we have in life as Catholics is the inability to be honest and to tell the truth. You know, you've got bishops who are afraid to annoy the media. What the hell is... What do you think you're going to get out of the media anyway? But we've become so conditioned to being stupid and little and moronic that we're stupid and little and moronic. Look at the bishops in Ireland with the whole abortion thing. You know, and a few priests raised their mouths to say, you know, if you voted for abortion, don't be coming for communion. And the result, oh, it's awful, how can they say that, how can they say that? Well, they can say because it's true. And if anybody should be listening to this and lives in Ireland and voted for abortion and has the temerity to go to communion without going to confession and confessing their sin of murder, you know, just God will get you in ways you can't begin to imagine. Or, no. God will allow you to get yourself in ways you cannot begin to imagine. See, that's the funny thing, ladies and gentlemen. God really doesn't send us to hell. We take ourselves there because we want to go there, following our own will rather than His. And that is what Ireland has done as a nation this past month.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm tempted to almost go on a tangent, what that makes me think of, because I think in terms of metaphor. And believe it or not, that makes me think of, this will sound unbelievable, but it makes me think of the movie The Dark Knight, the second Batman movie.
Oh,
have you watched this movie?
I have, when it came out.
At the very end, the Joker is doing one of his Joker things, and there are two boats. And, you know, they're getting off the island. And those boats are both wired with bombs.
Right.
And his game is each one has the detonator to the other. And so if you blow the other boat up, you get to live. And one is filled with the criminals, and the other's filled with the civilians, the good civilians. And the civilians took a vote. And they voted to blow up the prisoner's ship. But you know what? No one wanted to pull the trigger. So I thought that was so deep on the nature of democracy and what you say, which is we tend to vote our uglier side. We can vote for killing, but to actually kill itself, that's...
We're too good.
See?
We're too nice.
So I thought... I don't know. That's how my brain works. It makes these connections, and I thought that was a very profound thing of democracy in Batman 2, which was just illustrated on the Ireland thing. Yeah, we'll vote for it to kill people. We just don't want to do it ourselves.
Well, you're right. You're absolutely right. So let's take it a step further. If you vote that way, you did it. These hands with which I voted, there's blood, like Lady Macbeth.
Like to me, I feel like the way to stamp out abortion is to make people more involved in the actual process.
Absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely.
okay, here, yeah, this is fine. This is your body, right? Yeah, so go ahead and watch it. It's going to be fine, right? It's not going to be a big deal.
And mutatis mutandis, at the furthest remove, I pay for abortion with my taxes.
Right.
I need to remind myself of that. And I do every time I send off the check. I'm paying to kill infants. Because you see, ladies and gentlemen, in infanticidal, murderous societies such as ours, we make ourselves happy by forgetting reality. We mustn't do that. Always bear in mind when you do, and mind you, I'm not saying don't pay your taxes. That would lead to other evils that are perhaps worse. But it's important in order to destroy the sense of smugness, which, if nothing else, that'll get you to hell, being smug. A good way to do it is to always remember, meditate on what you're paying for when you pay your tax. You are participating in the murder of this society. I am participating in the murder that this society performs. Now, mind you, we're the inheritors of it. It's not like we're like the Irish who brought it on ourselves, and celebrating it, like bloody Liam Neeson. I never want to hear anybody say anything against Oliver Cromwell murdering the tons of Irish, which he did. Liam Neeson, he's your Cromwell for today. Again, let's get real, ladies and gentlemen. The blood is on all our hands. Never forget that. Never allow yourself the luxury of being smart. Well, I'm not involved. Oh, yes, you are. Yes, I am. You didn't think about it all the time because you'd go a little cray-cray and do strange things if you did. But it's important, whenever you feel like getting on your high horse, just remember what's on that high horse with you. Responsibility.